Today we're going to be taking a look at the Coughlans Tinder kit. I hope you enjoy it. Now a couple days ago I did a video kind of demonstrating the Spyderco paramilitary, chopping some wood, and also just making fire and trying to make fire from scratch with just some dry wood in my backyard basically. And needless to say, I really wasn't successful at it. I tried for a little bit of time, probably I'd say 5-10 minutes, and couldn't get it going even with dry wood. Tried making shavings and just really trying to get it going with a fire steel and just some standard wood, but really could not get it going the first couple tries. I think the biggest problem that I had was just the fact that I started off with wood shavings too large, and also that I wasn't patient enough and I didn't have enough wood shavings. But this is going to kind of bring me into the next topic that I'm going to be talking about today. This is about tinder and fire starting capabilities. Now, I'm no fire expert. I'll go ahead and say that up front. If you think that I am, then you're crazy. But I will say that I've had to use this several times in the outdoors and just on camping expeditions. And it was a lifesaver, honestly. The most recent trip was when I was in Big Sur and we were camping for 2 nights. And it rained for 3 days straight, non-stop. Didn't stop raining at all. And the problem was we all brought lighters, we brought matches, but even these lighters, they're great because for one, you start off with actual fire. So it's easier to light flint and other things like that. Not flint, it's either easier to light tinder. But if you start off with a standard match, or let's say you start off with a fire steel, you're going to have a harder time than with a lighter because, for one, the fire steel is just sparks. It's not an actual flame. So you have to turn those sparks into an actual flame, into fire. With a match, you have a limited amount of time to get that fire lit before that match burns out. With a lighter, you know, you've already got a flame that you can run for as long as the fuel is going. But the main issue was these lighters got wet. It was raining for, like I said, 3 days straight, and there's no way that we could keep this completely dry. And, you know, we had a Bic lighter, we had several different kinds of lighters. But once they got wet, they just didn't work. So the only way that we could start a fire was, one, we could gouge it with lighting fluid, which we did have, and we did use. But let's say you didn't have lighter fluid. Let's say all you had were your matches, your lighters, and that was about it, just some wood. Well, it's going to make it very difficult to start a fire. So luckily me, I actually did have the same Coughlans Tinder kit. Now what it comes with is, it comes with basically, from what I can gather, these are crumbled up cotton balls or a similar material, cotton material, dipped into some kind of chemical. You can use Vaseline, or petroleum jelly, or some other things, flammable liquids. And well, let me go ahead and open it up and show you. But what that's going to do is basically it's going to give you a chance to ignite this quickly, and once you kind of spread it out and flatten it out, it's going to keep that flame lit for at least a few minutes. They claim 5 to 7 minutes this will stay lit once you kind of flatten it out and pull it apart. I would say maybe 3 minutes tops. But the main thing is you get some wood shavings and some kindling going, and you light this up. You start putting the wood over it, dry wood if you have it, but let's say you had moist wood. Well, you get really fine shavings, you get the driest part, and this pretty much gets the fire going. Now inside of this, it does come with a kind of a fire steel of itself, a flint match, striker pin, and you know, it works okay. It doesn't work anything like a Light My Fire fire steel. As you can see, you kind of got to get it just the right angle to get it to spark, which is why I don't really like this particular one that they throw in here, but it's kind of just a, I guess, a sales pitch. They want to sell you the little kit. I think this kit came with 8 of the little fuel sticks, if you were looking to pick it up, and they're really inexpensive. They're, you know, several, maybe $5 to $10 at Amazon.com or vice versa. But the main point that I was trying to get across is that when it comes down to it, you don't want to be messing around with fire. When you're cold and you're wet, you're camping or you're hiking, or even if you're at home barbecuing and your lighters are wet, your matches are wet, it's going to be very hard to start a fire. And you don't want to be messing around when you're cold like that. So it was really great to have these on hand. There's tons and tons of brands out there. This is just one of them. And again, if you don't want to buy these, you can go ahead and make them. Just get some cotton balls, dip them in petroleum jelly or another flammable liquid or gel, and you can go ahead and just put them in a plastic baggie, let them stay all gooey like that, and once they dry up, they'll just make great fire starters. Really, that's about all I wanted to say. Just wanted to praise this particular product because it definitely saved the day when I was camping on that trip, as well as a few others. And this is the same kit I have, and you can see that I still have a few left. So I think that's about it. Just wanted to praise this product and talk a little bit about fire making. And basically that video I did just a few days ago was mainly just to test, you know, this Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and also to prove a point that even in the most perfect conditions, you know, with the driest wood in your backyard, sometimes it's not as easy as it looks to start a fire. And you might want to wise up and get something like this to make it a little bit easier in the event that you will need to make fire. So that's the only point I was trying to prove. I know I don't have the perfect fire making skills, but I don't think anybody does, because most of us don't need to start fire every day. There are some that do, but for me personally, I really don't. So anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.